Ever since I've been a kid, I've been fascinated with outer space, and I must confess that as an adult, over the years, I've owned at least a dozen different telescopes. For me, looking up at the night sky is deeply humbling because of our modern understanding. We know that the Earth is essentially just a mote of dust floating through a vast universe whose scale is, well, it's beyond our human comprehension. And what has also fascinated me is how people have viewed the universe throughout history. Before our modern understanding, ancient people actually viewed the Earth cosmos relationship in reverse. I mean, they had no idea that the sun was a million masses of our Earth and was 93 million miles away. They saw the sun as a disk floating up above their head, thousands of feet up in the sky. And so to ancient people, it was actually the Earth which seemed to go on forever and ever. We take our knowledge about the Earth for granted today. I mean, a child in kindergarten has more knowledge about our Earth than, say, good old Aristotle. He didn't have Google Earth at his fingertips. Travel by land was extremely slow and difficult, the terrain inhospitable largely, and the same went for the oceans. So because of their limited understanding, you can see why they thought that the Earth was the center of everything. And I think in a very similar way, it's easy for us to get things backwards, to see things in reverse when it comes to the natural and spiritual realms. We think that what we can see, touch, smell, experience is the main show in town, and yet Scripture hints that there is a vast spiritual realm around us which has existed long before we ever came onto the scene. What's more is that according to St. Paul, that God uses us mortals to demonstrate his manifold wisdom to this unseen spiritual realm. Now, Scripture doesn't actually give us a lot of information about this spiritual realm, and yet it clearly does not portray angels as having halos floating on clouds playing harps, nor does it portray demons as being red with two horns running around with pitchforks. Yet it does describe them as having extraordinary powers, and that while we can't see them, they can clearly see us. So have you ever wondered, what do they really think of us? Do they see us like we see these deep sea creatures that live thousands of feet below the ocean's surface in perpetual darkness, who are completely oblivious to what lies in the upper layers of the ocean and certainly what lies outside of it? Are they perplexed as to why God, whom they can see, would focus so much of his attention upon us, we who are so spiritually blind and ignorant, that he was willing to leave heaven, take on human form, only to be abused and nailed to a cross by us? Peter wrote that angels long to look into these things. So think about that the next time you're staring up at the night sky, because that's even more humbling and mind-blowing than the size and the scale of our universe. Thanks for watching. Now, the link for last week's video is up above me right now. And if you're on Twitter, why not follow me at Minute Preacher, not 1 Minute Preacher, but at Minute Preacher. And of course, if you haven't already, why not subscribe to this YouTube channel for a new video every single Thursday. Thanks so much.